Major news from the Office of the Superintendent of Bankruptcy Canada. In this video, we break down the 2026 modernization of Canada's debt relief system and what it means for your financial fresh start. Licensed Insolvency Trustee Brendan Smith, Senior Vice President of Iris Smith Trustee and Receiver Incorporated, shares expert insights on the huge upgrades designed to make consumer proposals and bankruptcy more accessible. Whether you are dealing with credit card debt or considering a consumer proposal, these new OSB rules are a game changer. Key topics covered. What is the Office of the Superintendent of Bankruptcy Canada Modernization? How the new rules make a fresh start easier. The role of a licensed insolvency trustee in the new system. Why reaching out to Iris Smith Trustee and Receiver Incorporated is your best first step. I am Avatar Ira Smith, President of Ira Smith Trustee and Receiver Incorporated. Right now, Ira is helping a business owner or individual just like you with their debt problems. We are a true family business. We are not for everyone, but if we take you on as a client, we will treat you with the respect you deserve, and you will receive first-class service and always be able to reach either Ira or Brandon Smith, our licensed insolvency trustees. You will never be pushed off to a clerk. I hope you can watch until the end of this video and that you find the information useful.
So, there is some major news coming out of Canada's debt relief system. We're talking about a huge upgrade, and honestly, it's all designed to make getting a fresh financial start easier and more accessible than ever before. We're going to break down exactly what these changes mean for you, and we're basing this on some fantastic insights from an expert in the field, Brandon Smith of Ira Smith Trustee and Receiver Inc.
Let's be real for a second. Are you feeling the stress of debt? I mean, it can be this impossible weight, right? Affecting every single part of your life. It's such a heavy burden, and it can really feel like you're carrying it all by yourself. But the first thing I really want you to hear is this. You are absolutely not alone. Not even close. And you know what? There's some really good news coming. The entire Canadian system for handling debt is getting a much-needed upgrade, and it's specifically designed to help people just like you.
So where are all these changes coming from? Well, they're being proposed by the Office of the Superintendent of Bankruptcy, or the OSB. You can think of this as a huge modernization project for Canada's entire financial safety net.
So think of the OSB kind of like the official referee in the world of debt. They're the federal agency that makes sure the rules are fair for absolutely everyone involved. That's for the people who owe money and for those they owe it to. They're the ones who license the experts, like trustees, to make sure the whole system runs with total integrity. So why the big update right now, honestly? Because it's been a long time coming. The last major overhaul to some of these rules was way back in 2009. I mean, just think about how much the world has changed since then. The system was just desperate to catch up with inflation, to finally embrace modern technology, and to make sure that everyone in Canada has consistent, fair access to the help they need. Alright, let's dive into the first major change. And trust me, this one is a game changer. It has everything to do with one of the most powerful tools out there for dealing with debt without having to declare bankruptcy, the consumer proposal. Okay, so what is a consumer proposal, really? Well, it's a formal, legally binding deal that a licensed trustee, like the pros at Ira Smith, negotiates with your creditors for you. You agree to pay back just a portion of what you owe over a set period of time and completely interest-free. And here's the absolute key. It lets you avoid bankruptcy while keeping your important assets, like your home and your car. So up until now, to even be eligible for this amazing tool, your total unsecured debt, we're talking things like credit cards, lines of credit, not your main mortgage, had to be under $250,000. For a lot of people, that was a real barrier.
Well, get ready because that is all about to change. The proposed new limit is being bumped way up to $325,000. That is a massive jump, and it finally reflects the economic realities we're all living in today.
So what does this matter so much to you? Well, it means thousands more Canadians are suddenly going to qualify for a consumer proposal. It's opening up this powerful path to financial recovery that lets them completely avoid bankruptcy. And, maybe the best part of all, this new limit is going to be adjusted for inflation every single year, so it will never get this out of date again. Okay, so that's a massive win for avoiding bankruptcy. But what if bankruptcy is the right path for someone? Well, the new rules are making that process simpler and more accessible for more people too. The truth is, most personal bankruptcies in Canada don't have to be this super complex, overwhelming process. See, there's a streamlined version called Summary Administration, and it's specifically designed to be faster and less expensive for people who just don't have a lot of assets to deal with. The way it worked before was you qualified for this simpler process if your realizable assets, so things that could be sold, maybe a second car or some investments, were under $15,000. The new rules, they're raising that threshold to $20,000. It's a really smart adjustment that just acknowledges how much the value of everyday things has gone up. So the bottom line here is pretty clear. This change is going to let more people who need to file for bankruptcy use the simpler, quicker, and way less stressful path. It's all about reducing the hassle during what's already an incredibly tough time. And you know what? These updates aren't just about dollar signs. The entire process, the paperwork, the meetings, it's all being brought into the 21st century. It's finally time to say goodbye to some of those paperwork headaches. I mean, your whole journey to debt relief is getting a serious digital makeover. We're talking about finally using electronic documents for everything, accepting e-signatures, and keeping files securely online. This means way less printing, less mailing, and fewer trips to an office just to sign a single form. It just makes the whole thing faster, easier, and so much more convenient. Now, of course, for any of this to work smoothly, you need real, skilled, regulated professionals in your corner, guiding you through it. And that's exactly where licensed insolvency trustees come in. The new rules are also making sure the system that supports them stays healthy and strong. I really want this to sink in. Licensed insolvency trustees, or LITs, are the only professionals in all of Canada who are legally allowed to administer a consumer proposal or a bankruptcy. They are highly trained, they're regulated by the government's referee, the OSB, and their entire job is to explain all of your options and protect your rights. And hey, don't just take my word for it. Let's look at what Brandon Smith himself had to say about all this. He called these changes a breath of fresh air and said it's a clear signal that the system is finally evolving to give Canadians better support and a clearer path to a fresh start. That's a really powerful endorsement. Okay, so let's just recap everything we've talked about really quickly. The consumer proposal limit is going way up. The simplified bankruptcy asset limit is also going up. The whole process is going digital first. And crucially, these key numbers are now going to be tied to inflation. So what's the big takeaway? The entire system is becoming more accessible, more modern, and a whole lot more fair for everyone. So after hearing all of that, you might be thinking, okay, that's great, but what does this actually mean for me, for my specific situation? And what on earth should I do next? Look, if you take one thing away from this, let it be this. You do not have to figure all of this out by yourself. In fact, you really shouldn't. The very first step toward your fresh start is to get expert, regulated advice from someone who understands these new rules inside and out. You know, taking that first step is always the hardest part, right? But it's also where all the power is. Just reaching out to a licensed insolvency trustee firm like Iris Smith Trustee and Receiver Inc. for a consultation costs you absolutely nothing. It is completely free, totally confidential, and there's zero obligation. It's just about getting the information you need. So, really, what's stopping you from understanding your new options? A single, completely judgment-free conversation could be the start of a whole new financial chapter for you. These modern rules are being put in place to give you a clearer path forward. So the real question is, are you ready to take it?